What's up, spinners? I've got a great show for you today, but first I want to talk about the statistics for the podcast. In 2.5 short weeks, Spinning It has climbed up the iTunes sports charts to number 9 with 1,600 downloads. Once again, I want to thank all of you for your strong support of the show. We have a blast making each and every episode, so buckle up because I plan on producing this show for a very long time. Last weekend, we packed up the family and headed to the beautiful hill country of Fredericksburg, Texas. My wife Kelly was competing in a cycling event with her fellow Team in Training riders. Team in Training, or TNT, is the flagship fundraising program for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, LLS, and the only endurance sports training program for charity that raises money for blood cancer research. Along with competing in these insane endurance events, Kelly has raised thousands of dollars going toward finding a cure for blood cancer. There isn't one person in the world whose life hasn't been affected in some way by cancer. Kelly's mom, Emily, fought and beat breast cancer. My dad fought and beat kidney cancer. And my grandpa eventually succumbed to brain cancer. It's a horrific disease that I hope one day we will have a cure for. My wife is the most amazing woman I know, and her desire to demand the most of herself and to help others drives me to be the best man I can be. You would think that being an engineer and a mom to an 8-month-old baby girl would be enough on her plate. But then again, you don't know my wife. When she's training for an event, she wakes up at 5 a.m. on the weekends to ride her bike 50-plus miles. She also runs countless miles and swims hundreds of laps to prepare for her other endurance events. The world of endurance sports is still very foreign to me, but I'm trying my best to learn. Football is such an easy sport for me to follow and root for. You get to watch teams run plays against each other for 4 quarters without really much of a break. There are big hits, long passes, exciting runs, booming kicks, etc. Rooting for a loved one in an endurance sport is a little different. Some of my wife's events run 7 hours or longer, and in that time I might be lucky enough to see her a couple times during the entire race and cheer her on a few seconds before she zooms by me. Needless to say, most of the cheering occurs after the race is done. To compete in these events, you not only have to be in a supreme physical condition, but have to be so mentally tough. It's not like you have teammates and coaches to lean on when you get tired or things might not be going your way. It truly is an individual sport that forces you to push your mind and body to places you would never think would be possible. I remember seeing 70-year-old competitors at these races and thinking to myself, I hope when I'm that person's age, I'm a badass like that. I also think about how I should never have excuses to not accomplish things in my own life. When I think about how it must feel to compete in these events, I can imagine every muscle in my body aching from start to finish, and that little voice in my head getting bigger and bigger, saying things like, why are you doing this? Just quit. Maybe I can find a shortcut. There is no part of me that desires to run, bike, or swim hundreds of miles just to say I did it. But believe it or not, there are thousands of people like my wife that compete year-round in these events, and more importantly, do it for a cause like LLS. And even though I don't always understand it, they have my utmost respect. If you would like more information or would like to get involved with Team in Training, you can find it on their website at www.teamintraining.org. Podcast number 3 is very special to me. It's about the ultimate relationship in football, a quarterback and his lineman. I've been blessed in my career to have great offensive lines in high school and in college. In my opinion, the offensive line is the most important piece of a football team. They can make average quarterbacks and running backs look great and seldom receive any of the credit. The offensive line is its own breed of animal, or should I say hog. They are some of the biggest and strongest human beings on the planet, yet most of the time they're joking around and acting like children. A great offensive line can dictate the play of an entire team. I'd like to compare them to the big brother that always has your back and that makes you feel safe when things start to get crazy. And they take so much pride in protecting us. If I was an NFL GM, I would always use my top picks on offensive linemen. Why do you think centers and blindside offensive tackles are some of the highest paid football players in the league? One of my favorite O-linemen that I've ever had blocked for me was Monroe, Louisiana's own Benjamin Gombossy. Ben was my teammate at Nicholls State and blocked for me for 2 years when I became the full-time starter. He was one of the most aggressive, dirtiest, and smartest football players I've ever been around. He took so much pride in protecting me and helping his offensive line unit be the best that it could be. Ben, still to this day, is one of my only friends that I could call up at 3 a.m. and say that I need him. And he wouldn't even ask how or why. He would just say, tell me when and where, and I'm there. To me, that is the definition of a true friend. QBs, if you're not showing your linemen major love, then you better tighten it up now or reconsider your position, because we would be nothing without them. He's a former Division I All-American, a Southland Conference champion, and one of the best offensive linemen I've ever been around. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, enjoy my conversation with Ben Gombossy.
Step inside, walk this way, you and me, babe. Hey, hey!
I got my boy Ben Gombossy in the studio, man cave today. What's happening, Ben?
Oh, man, living a dream.
Just living the dream. My boy Ben is too cool for school. He always has been. He's got his mirrored Ray-Bans on right now, staring me down. Feel like I'm playing like World Series of Poker with him right now.
You never know what I got.
He is. He's the only normally offensive linemen pride themselves in like being dirty. And now he's dirty. Don't get me wrong, but he is the cleanest offensive lineman that I know. Shoes, always sparkling. Towels, always nice. Jersey rolled up, looking like a running back. My boy.
Got to.
What's happening, dude?
Oh, man. I'm just glad you brought me here, Yale. It's a blessing.
Dude, I'm excited to have you here. We missed you this week, last weekend. Nicholls State in the Southland Conference honored us for our 2005 Southland Conference Championship. There was a hole missing. There was a
short hole.
No, it's a wide hole.
It's wide.
I had every member of my starting offensive line there except my boy Ben, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little upset. What's the deal? What gives?
My youngest daughter, Scarlett, turned 5, and we had a birthday party.
A birthday party.
I mean, family.
I feel you. Scarlett, happy birthday. We love your daddy. So Ben and I both went to Nicholls State University. Ben, you were the year after me, or 2 years? 2 years. Okay, so 2 years. Ben came in 2 years after me. Same type of thing. Nicholls brought in a certain type of guy at one point when we were playing, and it's like we just vibed. We really vibed well with each other, and I, especially, it's funny how close you get with your offensive line, because, I mean, obviously they're protecting you in the game and all that kind of stuff like that, but it's off the field too. Ben's the type of guy that I could call at 3 a.m. in the morning and say, I need you, and the dude's going to be there. Like, no questions asked. That's why I love you, dude.
I love you too, Yale.
Yeah, man.
I just need to know where to bury the body.
But no, he's not joking, guys. So Ben, real quick, let's start from the beginning. Tell me about where you grew up and how football was playing a positive role in your life early on.
Okay. I was born and raised in Northeast Louisiana, specifically Monroe. Rose City.
Rowe.
Yeah.
How do I know Monroe?
ULM.
Mm-hmm.
ULM's there.
They put it on Nicholls State this year, 40-0. It hurt my soul.
It hurt mine as well.
Okay.
I'm still getting texts, emails, tweets.
No, huh?
Yeah, I mean, what am I supposed to do about it now? But I grew up there, very similar to the way Texas is with football. Crowds are huge. I played on multiple occasions in front of 30,000 plus.
Whoa, that's got to be in like the Superdome. Where do you do that at?
We played at ULM at their stadium.
Cool.
I did a little bit more background. Started playing football when I was 6 years old.
What position?
I was an offensive lineman, D lineman, and then I got too heavy. I couldn't play. You know,
Is this Pop Warner? What?
Yep.
What? Okay, Pop
YMCA.
Warner. YMCA. All right, we got that here too.
Yeah, and I couldn't play again until I was in 6th grade. We played.
How did it feel to? I mean, you loved football early on. I'm guessing I loved football. How does it feel to be told you can't play right now, dude? And it's over something you really can't control. You know, a genetic thing.
I mean, I could imagine how I feel now as to then. Then I was just ready to play video games. Really wasn't a big deal.
Gotcha. Got to get on that Nintendo, son.
Yeah, I played enough football in the neighborhood, crushed enough heads. Then it really didn't matter. I was playing ball one way or another.
Gotcha.
Came back and played in 6th grade, and then I was one of those guys that showed up in 7th grade about, I don't know, close to 6 foot tall.
Whoa.
Daggum 210 pounds.
Whoa.
And I could imagine that I was one of the biggest kid, if not the biggest kid, size-wise, not height, but size-wise on the team.
What was the name of your middle school?
Ouachita Parish Junior High.
What was the mascot?
The Cubs.
The Cubs?
The Lion Cubs.
The Cubs, the Lion Cubs. What were your colors there?
Red and white.
And what was your first number in junior high?
77.
77. So big 77 rolls up onto campus, pretty much the biggest dude in school?
Yeah, I was probably the strongest and the widest in school.
Okay. So you show up, obviously coaches see guys like you. I know how they think now. And they're like, I got a special spot for you, son. How does this go, 7th grade year?
Boom. I had a pretty crazy little deal in 7th grade. My junior high school, still to this day, probably loses maybe once every couple of years.
Wow.
Decent-sized junior high. We had 2 7th grade teams, 2 8th grade teams. And I played offensive line for a couple weeks. And I also played Mike linebacker.
What?
And then about a little bit ways in, they moved me to running back. So I was the ace.
Were you wearing number 77?
I switched to 37.
Oh, my gosh. Bro, 37 never looked so good.
That number hadn't been stretched that far in a long time, my brother. It was tough.
So you were playing Mike linebacker and running back.
Correct.
Okay. So no line at this point.
I'd play a little tight end. If we went into an I-back situation, I didn't go to fullback. I actually went to tackle, which is a little strange. So 37 was at tackle.
Really?
Strange.
Okay.
But it worked out.
Okay. How did the season go at running back for you? I'm curious.
I was more of a red zone guy,
Gotcha.
20 and in. We
Gotcha.
went ace.
I'm thinking, right, okay, so I'm thinking Little Ben in 7th grade is looking like number 3-6 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is that what I'm thinking? Little Jerome Bettis, the bus?
You're very correct.
Gotcha.
Get
Okay.
in the ace, hand me the ball downhill.
Nice.
I'm not making the first guy miss.
No?
I'm just going right through it.
I feel like you, because I've seen you be an athlete, and you are an athlete. I think you're good for at least one jump cut. No? Not even wasting time, just running somebody over.
I got somewhere to go.
I got you.
know,
I like it.
Shortest distance,
Straight line. I feel you.
That was me. I probably in that season probably had about 4 or 5 touchdowns.
Nice. If you had to guess, okay, so what do you think attempts, average attempts per game?
Probably 15.
15, right. So what are we
15.
thinking yards-wise?
Oh, man. It was bad. I probably had over 5 yards a carry.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Because if I was the biggest guy on my team, and I was probably one of the bigger junior highs, I was the biggest on everyone's team.
There's no doubt in my mind you hit a young man in 7th grade at one point who, after he took that hit, he had a long look in the mirror and said, football's not for me anymore.
So I've got a story.
Okay.
We're playing the 8th grade team in a little scrimmage. So our top 7th grade team would play the bottom 8th grade team.
Gotcha. Yep.
On a rag.
Mm-hmm.
So coach had a wild hair and decided to give me a toss.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a toss kind of guy, but I got the toss. Strong safety came down.
Is he tossing to the left, tossing to the right, tossing straight back? What are we doing?
Tossing to the left.
Okay, all right.
Tossing to the left. Old power toss.
Nice.
Left guard pulls. He doesn't make his block. Strong safety's in my face, and I proceeded to basically crush his face mask.
An 8th grader.
An 8th grader.
Nice.
And I went to rumbling.
Nice.
Oh, yes.
Very nice.
And that kid quit immediately.
So did you? He was an 8th grader.
He was an 8th grader.
You're a 7th grader. Did you see him in high? Did you go to the same high school as him?
Yes.
And how's your relationship with him after that?
We don't have one.
Ah, nice.
But it really wasn't because of that.
No, I'm just joking.
Maybe it was. I don't know.
Okay.
It's not my problem.
I think deep down he still thinks about it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
So 7th grade. Okay, how'd you guys do? What was the record?
9-1.
9-1. Wow, y'all played 10 games in 7th grade. I think we only played 8.
No,
Nice.
9-1. Some of the team we lost to, a lot of guys might remember the quarterback that played at Ole Miss for a minute, Robert Lane.
Yes, Robert Lane, Bobby Lane.
Bobby Lane's boy. And that was the only team we lost to.
Nice. Where did Robert Lane go to high school?
Neville.
Neville. That's right. Okay, so 7th grade finishes up. Did you play any other sports besides football?
I was on the track team, and I threw shot and discus.
Did you dominate at that as well?
Not so much.
No. Okay.
No, my strength didn't really come in until I got toward the end of high school. I really wasn't one of those big weight room bangers until toward the end.
Toward the end of high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was always, if anyone sees me, knows I could squat from the day I was born, but as far as everything else, didn't really come into play until I was a little older.
Okay. What I talk about this with my middle school athletes all the time. What's an offensive lineman / running back? I'm just call you / for the rest of the episode.
Okay.
/ what was your diet like in middle school?
I ate everything that I could get my hands on.
Do you hear that, middle school quarterbacks? All you little skinny dudes, eat everything you can get your hands on.
Coach at the time, we used to have the 2 peanut butter jelly sandwiches before you go to bed diet.
Love them. I did it.
I think I wasn't eating or swallowing creatine then. I didn't have it until I got to high school.
Me too.
That was definitely demolishing everything that my mom could make.
Nice. God bless her. What was 8th grade like?
Very similar. I did play a little more DN then. Obviously got a little bigger. And moved to DN, little inside guy. Still played a little running back. And another successful season. Same outcome, 9-1, but very successful.
You went 18-2 in your middle school career. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Had a good group of coaches. There was a bunch of guys there that were like semi-retired. That coached some big high school, small college ball, and they were just hanging out, taking care of us youngins.
Nice. Did your middle school feed into a particular high school? How does that work? Okay.
Our junior high, all of us went to Ouachita Parish High School.
Gotcha.
OPHS.
So I remember when we were in 7th and 8th grade, one game out of the year, we all fed into the same high school because it was in a small city. One game out of the year, the high school coaching staff would come down. They'd come watch a full game, and they'd come talk to us after. So those, we brought it all the time, but with those games that the high school coaching staff was there, we really brought it because, playing high school football at that point was, and we were in middle school, was almost like we're about to go into the NFL. I mean, that's how big of a deal it was.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
Monroe's got about 17 high schools.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And at varying sizes. So, they came to every game pretty much. So did a lot of the area private schools and stuff like that, trying to nab a dude.
Sure.
But it was a big deal for us. The high school. We're in the playoffs every year in high school. It was anything less, than 8-win season was. You were horrible. It's, you're getting alumni coming by, giving pep talks. You start losing more than 2-3 games.
So it's a winning tradition there.
I've been winning there since the 80s.
Any state championships?
We have one.
Nice. Very good. Okay. So you get to high school. You're showing up at this high school that is a power in the area. When did you make the move to get to varsity? What grade were you in?
I was a freshman.
A freshman.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Showed up on
Stop
campus.
the press. A freshman.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen very often, guys.
All that offensive stuff kind of went to the wayside. Moved strictly to defense.
Really? I did not know this.
Strictly to defense.
What number were we?
I wore multiple numbers.
Okay. All right.
Freshman ball, I was 77.
Mm-hmm. Dude,
JV
shout out to
ball.
Jacob Bender, huh?
Yep.
Very nice.
JV, I was 93.
Okay.
And varsity, I wore 98.
Really? That surprises me because I feel like if any of my boys, especially offensive linemen, you would have found a way to rock a single-digit number.
You know, I tried.
I know you did.
And my high school was very particular about who got single-digit numbers.
Sure.
And if you put your hand down, not happening.
Not happening, huh?
No.
Okay, I got you.
Skill guys only.
Okay.
They didn't make enough fabric, they said. That's what they told me.
See, my when I talked to my quarterbacks about getting a number, I was so happy because we didn't have single-digit numbers in middle school or high school. We had single-digit numbers in college, though. So I said I wanted to be as fast as possible. So a single-digit number is going to have less fabric or less paint on it, so it's going to make me a little bit faster. And obviously, it looks very clean.
It does look clean.
It looks clean.
The little fabric thing.
It's me being silly.
Yeah.
Okay, so whereas we're a freshman, how does it feel being a freshman on a power varsity program?
I mean, it was awesome. I believe I was one of 3 ever.
Wow.
Play.
Oh, ever. Wow.
Ever. There was a kid before me, Lewis Carter,
Mm-hmm.
and then the great Jamie and Spencer from my high school played at Notre Dame.
Nice.
Yeah, he also played at Philadelphia for a little bit.
Nice.
He was just a guy that used to come down and take care of us all. But, yeah, it was just us 3 at the time. There's been more since, but, yeah, it was kind of an honor.
Nice, dude. Okay. Was there any type of adversity that was met when you're a young buck showing up and you got these 18-year-old seniors saying, "Pump the brakes, young buck"?
Well, I think my biggest adversity was actually with my fellow freshmen. They just weren't cool with that. Your boys up there shining.
They're jealous.
You know, a little bit of jealousy going on. I was cool with that. The seniors and stuff were really cool with me. Although I have a pretty mild temper, I don't have a problem throwing hands. So
Okay. Throwing hands means squabbling a little bit, guys.
yeah, I mean, it's a part of the position. If it's not in your blood, you might be in the wrong spot.
Okay. I totally agree.
Right. I mean, I don't play quarterback. I don't have a level head. They don't ask me to be level headed. They ask me to know my assignments and from there on do what I got to do.
Okay.
It's
Very
a little
good.
different scenario.
I like it.
And just you know this because you see me every day. I'm not. I might be the widest, but I'm not the biggest or the tallest. And you got to be a little scrappy.
I feel you. I think with all my buddies that might be a little. I mean, you're not even short, dude. I mean, you really aren't.
To the normal population.
True. But for everyone that all my buddies that do feel a little shorter, they all got a little fire in them.
Got to.
There is a little fire in them. Little Hands of Hate. Little Hands of Hate, I think, is 5'9" or something. And he definitely has a little bit of fire, a little bit of hate in his heart.
Definitely. So I did get to play a good bit as a freshman. Played nose. We did a lot of zone blitzes and stuff. So although I was undersized, I actually ended up in coverage a good bit.
Okay.
Middle of the field.
Really?
It was short middle,
Really?
15 and under.
Any picks?
That's funny you say that.
Okay.
So, 99, freshman year, we're playing Evangel.
Evangel, for all my Texas listeners, or anywhere else that's not Louisiana, give me a breakdown on Evangel.
Evangel High School started in the late 70s, 27 state champions. they probably had a number of kids go D1. In fact, that one year, 17 D1 signees.
D1 NFL 17. Oh
17.
my God, that's crazy. Wow.
So their quarterback at the time was Brock Berlin.
Brock Berlin, yep. Was at finished in Miami. Yeah, Florida, Miami.
Florida.
That's right. He was in the NFL for a little while.
Drop back to pass. A little more history. They had a special situation there. They started their gun at like 9.
I remember that.
Guy would be at like 15 by the time he's done. Mm-hmm. He took a long drop.
Yes.
And most of their O-linemen, the reason why they did that is they didn't have a bunch of good O-linemen.
So they're giving it as much time as possible.
But they had tons of just animals on the wideout.
So skill guys were good.
Guys.
Okay.
Home of Jacob Hester, those kind of guys. Man, that guy had a cannon. They had a history of guys with cannons. So I dropped back, doing a little zone blitz, and that ball came by my head so fast. I did get a hand on that thing, but I thought I broke my hand.
Really? This is Brock Berlin, a Brock Berlin pass, okay?
Yeah. This was toward the end. This was the third round of the playoffs. Ball went by me pretty quick, at a quick tempo.
Mm-hmm. So what you're telling me is no interceptions?
No interceptions.
Oh, Mike, that was Ben's long way and name-dropping way of saying zero interceptions.
I just thought it was important to name drop.
I got you. No, I like it. No, I like it. That's what we're all about here, name-dropping.
Name drop.
Who is the rival school in y'all's district or in y'all's parish? Is that no?
Yeah,
Parish,
parish, but district was West Monroe.
Okay. West Monroe Rebels, right?
The Rebs.
Power school as well.
Big time.
Mm-hmm.
They handled up from the 90s to today. I would probably say 10+ state championships.
Jeez, that's insane.
5A, yeah.
Dominating.
Big time.
So Louisiana's kind of broken up into, you got North Louisiana, where it's the Monroe area, where you have the West Monroes, the Evangels, all that stuff. And then you've got, down kind of New Orleans area?
So the way the football landscape is broken up.
Break it down for me.
You've got the I-20 area from Shreveport to Monroe.
Okay.
Then you got the central area, like the Alexandria area. That kind of goes down to maybe Lafayette, maybe. Mm-hmm. And then you got the Lake Charles area. And then you've got South Louisiana, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, down the bayou, all that kind of stuff.
From all those areas, where do you think the most talent is? Or is it equal? Is it spread across
each area has its own deal.
Okay.
You're going to find all your linemen in the I-20 area.
Okay. Well, up where you are is where the linemen.
It's just a different type of environment there.
It's more country, right? It is more country.
Right.
Okay.
The blue-collar cats
Yep,
up there.
Gotcha.
You're going to have a lot of athletes in the South Louisiana. Central, it's very sparse. I don't imagine them having too much all the time. They will have some guys out of there, don't get me wrong, that can play ball. Mm-hmm. But they're not going to have the athletes like they do in
New
South
Orleans.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
I mean, we have some guys from time to time. I think my high school right now has got a guy at Alabama.
Wow.
Cam Sims, shout out. But it's not typical. Mm-hmm. It's not typical. What typically comes out of Monroe is a lineman, the Monroe area.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody, a lot of it has to do with the fact is everybody runs the ball there.
Oh,
everybody's a power scheme.
That's where you need the big boys,
Yeah.
the hogs,
Right.
to open up the gaps, open up the holes. What was your record against West Monroe?
And a lot.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Never.
That's tough. We had a Corpus Christi Cal Allen. I was 0-4 against those boys. It was 0-3. I started varsity as a sophomore, and that was difficult. Dude, there's still a little bit of hate in my heart. I'm not gonna lie.
I've grown to appreciate their way they do things.
Okay. It's a very nice politically correct answer.
I don't hate them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten over the hate.
Okay, good.
That was just recently, like last month. I got over it. But yeah, they play good ball there.
Okay.
And they probably played the same scheme since I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
Veer option.
Okay. Oh, I didn't realize. So that John Curtis, West Monroe, both huge option schools.
Right.
And
but they
no
ran it
coincidence
out of the
that they both.
eye.
We ran it out of the eye a little bit and out of the split. Well, no coincidence that those schools have also been the ones winning the state championships.
Correct.
Wow, I like it. Triple option.
Yeah, it's nice. We ended up running it in high school as well.
Okay, did you?
So freshman year, played defense. Sophomore year, had a complete head coaching change. All my coaches left and went to Longview High School. And we had a new group come in from West Monroe. They thought that would be a good idea, which probably helped my hatred. But we went to the Veer.
Okay.
And at that point in time, they moved me to offense.
Okay.
And at spring, I was a fullback. I was going to be one of the fullbacks. And then they said, well, you know, we really don't have anybody to block for you. So how about we move you to tackle?
Oh, okay.
I'm like, okay.
Right
So,
or left?
either way.
Either way, okay.
I ended up playing left. Not like I had any pass blocking assignments, really.
Sure.
But a lot of veering, a lot of pulling, little counter game, little counter action we had off of that. But ended up playing left tackle my sophomore year. Started every game. It was good. We had a decent season. I think we won. I think we went 8-4.
Nice. Well, first year in a new offense, new coach. That's pretty darn good, dude.
Yeah, we were full of talent though. Big time.
What did you guys think about? Because option's a different kind of ball. Oh, well, under center. You know, I know a lot of people think it's still crazy, but the fact of the matter is everyone's running it. They're just running out of gun now.
Right.
And
Nothing's different.
calling it the spread. But what was the feeling in the community, the feeling at the school of this offense coming in? I mean, probably a little bit of excitement, I guess, because West Monroe had so much success with the offense, or what?
No, it was the exact opposite.
Really? Okay.
It was exact. We went from a power G, you know, out of the I formation, downhill, big play action passing to 4 yards in the cloud of dust.
Sure.
So a lot of the community was not really cool with that.
Okay.
But we won.
At the end of the day, it's about the W.
It's about the dub.
So tell me this. So you're getting to your junior year. What?
Got a little something else though.
Oh, talk to me. Okay.
All State is a sophomore.
What? Say that again.
All State first team.
Speaking in that microphone and say that one more time.
All State.
Oh my gosh.
First team.
First
5A.
team. That's big boy stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a pound real quick.
I need it.
We're pounding. Oh, there it is. Love it. That's big time, dude.
Yeah.
Good God, just to get it at all but as a sophomore. So obviously you get something like that, a big award like that, you're automatically on people's lists. Your colleges get a list of all the people that were all state, all district, all area, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Sent to them, and they will start recruiting them immediately. So how did that go? What was the deal?
I immediately started getting love.
Nice. In the form of letters?
Letters.
Okay.
Tons and tons of letters.
What did you feel like? I asked Bernard this, and like I said, I remember I felt like all my hard work had been rewarded, but also that, kind of like I'd arrived. Okay. Well, how did it feel getting that first letter?
It was kind of a mixed feeling because my position coach at the time, my high school was used to that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, they prepped me and told me, you're going to start getting stuff. Doesn't mean you're any good. Just means somebody thinks you're something.
That's probably a good attitude to have.
My position coach was real tough on me. It'd be a pancake, and he would say you used the wrong steps. It's a minus on your progress right there.
I like coaches like that, though.
Yeah.
They get the best out of you.
He definitely did.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I started getting letters, he used to tell me straight up front, that doesn't mean you're nothing, boy. So unless it's a handwritten, it don't mean nothing.
True, he's right about that.
So I get a bunch of letters. My mom probably still has boxes and boxes of letters.
My mom has them too.
Yeah.
Real quick, the letter that you get that says "Dear Athlete," you can just throw that away. That doesn't mean anything. When it says "Dear Ben Gombossy," or it's handwritten and says Yale, blah 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 blah, then you start taking notice.
And what else helped me a lot, and Yale, this is not true, but they put in a program that was like 6'3".
Do people do that? Do people really say that they're a certain size and weight, put that in the program, and they lie about that?
No, never.
Yeah, they all do.
I shrunk.
All y'all do. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got lots of love. Junior year was a big year for me. I probably
Were you going to camps? Were you going to the camps there in the summer?
after my junior year, I
Okay.
did.
All right.
So I had a good junior year again. First team All State, first team All District, first team All Northeast.
Good God.
You know, stuff was good. Getting all the patches, getting the love.
It's all about the patch, man. All
is
about
all
the
about
patch,
the
all about the
patch.
jacket.
It is. It was fun times, man.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have a good year my junior year though.
We didn't either.
Well, they opened up another school in Monroe at that time on the south side. Kind of took some talent away.
No doubt.
Yeah, so that was a tough year for us. Now we bounced back my senior year, had a good year. But in between my junior and senior year, I went to a bunch of camps.
Well, where'd you go?
Oh man, I think I went to LSU, Alabama, Auburn.
How did you make the decision to go to these camps? Did you just say, some guys say, I just want to go to these camps? Or did you get letters from these people saying, come, and then
Big Ben, come see me.
That's what I'm talking about.
I also went to the Nike Select Camp at that time.
Beautiful.
Had great times. Again, like I said earlier, my strength really wasn't a big factor for me then, so I didn't test real well on the bench. However, my 40 time was sub 5.
No.
Sub 5.
No.
The shuttle time was on point.
Were you wearing low-cut cleats when you were running this 40 time?
Yeah.
Nice. Speed TDs? Maybe some speed TDs?
Speed TDs.
The originals?
Molded.
Oh, love
That's
it.
all they came.
Love it. Okay.
I did real well, had a good vertical. And a lot of people didn't know what to do with me because I'm height-wise really wasn't there. But the
What about center?
athleticism- Man, I've got short arms, brother.
Okay.
So a lot of people wanted me to walk on as a fullback. Just talking to me between my junior and senior year. I was still getting a lot of love, a lot of letters, handwritten letters now.
What schools?
Texas A&M, Auburn,
Nice.
little love from LSU.
What about any 1AA, D2, anything like that?
Everybody
Nothing,
stayed
really.
away from me, yeah.
Huh. You know what I've noticed sometimes, though? D2 and D1AA are a little late to the game when it comes to recruiting because they want to see who commits to the D1s, who
wanna
falls
see who
between the
falls,
cracks.
yeah.
Exactly. And then they want to go pick those guys up. So if you guys aren't hearing a lot from your D2 schools, D1AA schools, that's the reason why. Don't worry. It'll all work out. Okay.
They normally don't even start recruiting you until like January.
Correct. I mean, December when their season's over, that's when they jump on it. But you're right. I'll get emails and calls from coaches right about that December to January range. Where's he at? Where's he at here?
Where's he fitting up at?
That's right.
So I was still getting recruited by all the big boys. I had the grades and everything. So a lot of guys were looking at me just to help the GPA of the team, as well as maybe contribute down the road.
Gotcha.
A&M wanted me to become a fullback.
Well, because they had success with Toombs. Remember Jamar Toombs, something like that, who was a big dude running the rock.
Big boy.
Had a lot of success there.
I don't think they ever had any aspirations for me to actually touch the ball. It was more or less just to be a thumper.
Blocking back, I got you.
Which I would have appreciated, but that head coach got fired.
Okay.
So
was it Slocum? RC Slocum at that time?
RC got cut.
Gotcha.
And Auburn gave me a lot of love. LSU did as well. And then my senior year, man, I just blew it up. I went to guard at that point in time.
How do you blow it up when you've already are two-time All-State?
Dude, it was just pancakes like crazy.
Nice. For non-offensive linemen, what is a pancake?
Well, my definition of a pancake is a man with his hand down.
Okay.
And you put him on his backside, not on his side, but on his backside.
So you hear that he's physically blocking this defender from a down stance
Right.
onto his back,
Right.
then laying on him.
Correct.
Yeah. And probably getting up slow after that.
I do a little humping.
Oh, whoa.
I like to let him know.
Ben, the kids are listening. Oh, my gosh. Okay, cool. So you said you're dominating your senior year.
Yeah.
Okay. How'd you guys finish out?
Man, we had a great regular season and lost in the first round of the playoffs. Just didn't perform.
That's tough.
Just didn't make it happen. We scored 28 points. Just defense couldn't keep them contained.
Yeah.
We did end up in a two-minute situation with chance with a field goal. Kicker just missed it wide right. But
Kickers.
he also doubled as a receiver, so he's got much love for me.
Nice. I love the kickers. I roomed with them in college.
They're so timid and quiet.
They are. They take up a little bit of space, just a little bit. They normally do what you tell them to do.
Yeah.
And they're very clean.
Very, very, very clean individuals.
That's right.
But we just didn't make it happen. After that, big meltdown. All coaches got canned.
This is your senior year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going into my senior year, though, I actually did commit to University of Memphis.
Wow, really? You're going to be a Tiger?
I was going to be a Tiger.
Okay.
Liked it up there. Tommy West and the guys treated me real well. Had a good time at camp up there, and it was my opportunity to play.
As an offensive line?
As a center.
As a center, okay.
At the time, they ran a mixture of things, but they had a quarterback from John Curtis, so they did a lot of running the ball.
Who's the quarterback?
It's
Danny
Wimprine.
Wimprine. Yeah. He's a New Orleans guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a guy that was leaving, and it was a good fit for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about how big the school is. I want to play. I'm gonna do me, whether what division it is.
Sure.
So what ended up happening, long story short, is a lot of the big boys dropped off once they realized how tall I was, the measurables. Most of these, and for the guys that are listening, most of these big schools have very limited scholarships for people outside the mold.
Correct.
So when you're outside the mold, you have to be nationally recognized or be exceptional at another position that maybe other people don't know about. And for me, I wanted to play my position.
Me too.
So I committed there. But when all that meltdown went down my senior year, and I committed early to get away from all the recruiting stuff.
Sure. Because it can be overwhelming, and yes, okay.
Because we had a receiver that was going through it pretty hard and heavy, and he was on his mind all the time.
Sure.
When that whole meltdown went down, man, he did me pretty bad.
Did he really?
He called Tommy West, told him I decommitted and was going to Louisiana Tech.
Why would he do such a thing?
He was melting us all down.
That upsets me to hear stuff. I mean, you know what? It worked out.
It worked out in your favor and mine.
It did, but still, that's wrong,
difficult.
man. You'd expect your coaches to, not only to be almost kind of father-like figures to you, but to have your best interest in mind. That's unfortunate.
And La Tech wasn't even pursuing me at all.
Okay.
That went down. That was tough. He got out, and so the basic recruiting process, unlike most places, we had no one doing it for us. Our parents pretty much picked it up because they had fired the head coach, the whole coaching staff.
Still a lot like that. Unless you have somebody like me or someone like that, it's still a lot like that.
Well, my high school's. I mean, we definitely had some things that helped us out. We actually had a coach that did nothing but help get us into college.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
He sent out tapes, got us into camps.
Because it is a full-time job just to do that. Wow, that's awesome.
Helped the guys with ACT prep, that kind of stuff.
Nice.
So that was nice. When that went down, we're looking at the end of December, going into January. Big time schools. A lot of the time, they're out of scholarships for me. I'm outside of the mold, and now I've got like 2 visits left. I took one to McNeese. They ended up offering the left tackle next to me and did not offer me. And then I took one to Nicholls last minute, a week before signing day.
Who had contacted you from Nicholls? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was Coach Day.
Coach Day, he contacted me as well. Very nice.
So
Coach Day was the head coach at Nicholls State.
Yeah. Coach Yarno at LSU had given Coach Day a tip that I was on the market and was available, that he needed to give me a call.
And to come look at you, yep.
And Coach Yarno at the time offered a good friend of mine, Jerry Savan, a scholarship.
I remember Jerry, yep.
And Jerry was outside of the mold, and that was the one guy they gave the scholarship to.
Are you and Jerry the same age?
Me and Jerry are the same age.
Okay, all right.
We're pretty much the same height, size.
I remember. So, Jerry was at LSU, and then he ended up transferring and finishing up at Nicholls.
So I went down to go see Day. It was an off day recruiting visit on a Tuesday, so nothing was going down. I did meet Little Hands of Hate that day, and my escort was also another former Lion.
Okay.
Old Rob.
Okay. Yes.
And we had a good time, and quite honestly, I had a good. It was a good feeling.
Cool.
So
even with Rob showing you around.
Yeah.
I'm joking. Not really, though. Okay, so you had a good feeling. You had a good feeling running around campus.
It was good, man. Quite honestly, they ran the option, and when I got about 10 minutes with the current offensive coordinator there, that's all I needed. I was done. Sign me up.
Sold you, yep. There's nothing like hitting it off with a coach, getting that good feeling of, I think more than anything is telling yourself, I could see myself going to living here for 4 to 5 years, bonding with these players. But I feel like this coach can help bring me to the next level, not just as a football player, but as a man as well. That's definitely a feeling that I got. Well, good. Okay. All right. So,
man, after that, I signed a week later. I had some late offers from the military schools.
Okay.
But I was committed. I gave my word. I ain't going nowhere else.
Love it. Okay.
So,
signing day, you commit.
Yeah.
Good to go. Nicholls State, here we come.
Yep.
Okay. What's the first memory you have of Nicholls football when you're a freshman?
I showed up on campus, got to meet everybody, met a certain individual who told me immediately up front that I was a freshman and was scum.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, man, nobody told me about nothing like this.
Yeah, you used to be in the alpha. I talk about that all the time. You used to be in the alpha. And coaches and the players, when you're on your visits there, they're going to love you up and tell you you're the man.
Right.
You're going to show up, and they're going to tell you what they really think about you really quick.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Luckily on my side, I still had the athleticism, which sets you apart, especially at a 1AA run the option. But we had a good group of seniors at that time, and I was, after all that initial, I guess, first couple days of camp, I was still on the depth chart in the area where I was going to be able to travel. So that was fun. I didn't have to redshirt, even though I did redshirt. I didn't have the redshirt workouts.
I went through the same exact thing.
And I was able to travel.
Yeah.
Live the life.
Get to kind of experience what it's like to be on the road, what it's like during a game situation, how your coaches are going to react during the game.
Right.
Very, very helpful. If you do get the chance to redshirt and to travel as well, it's a very helpful experience. And plus, you don't have to do the crazy redshirt workouts that everyone's doing while you're traveling or on the sideline.
Oh, man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But man, it was a lot of fun, man, and I was able to. I didn't have to do too much scout team during the week. I still was with the main offense, still getting some reps in and out, a little bit here and there. Freshman year was a good learning experiment. Real good learning experience. Got to work on my craft a little bit. I was no longer just snap the ball and just manhandle people.
Got to learn a little technique.
Right. So
Yeah.
6-inch steps, gather power, Z in the knee, all those things that I had to learn. That was although taught, was not much emphasis in high school.
Sure.
It was.
You don't always have to do it in high. That's the thing. In high school, you're just probably bigger and stronger than everyone. You can do what you want. In college, everyone's just as big and strong as you, sometimes bigger and stronger. So that's when the guys who have the technique down and who have the playbook down can really see a lot of success.
Free your mind, free your feet.
Attaboy. Okay, so tell me about maybe the biggest piece of adversity that happened to you in football when you were in college.
2006.
Okay.
Tore my knee up.
Okay, so you were a redshirt junior? Redshirt junior, okay. What did you do, junior?
Coming off the 05 season, got a lot of preseason love.
What kind of love?
Was FBS number 6 guard in the country.
That's big boy stuff right there.
Starting getting on watch lists and stuff.
Nice.
People must have forgot I was short. I don't know. Had a good season, 05. We all know, thanks to Yale Vannoy.
Team effort.
But
you had honors in 05, didn't you, after the season?
yeah, I got. It was all conference.
All conference, nice.
All Louisiana.
Wow.
I didn't get any All-American love, but preseason going into 06 was ranked number 6 guard.
I'll tell you the thing I loved about breaking a huddle with you. I never had to worry about your side. I never had to worry about that particular area. I knew you were going to do everything in your power to not only protect me, but protect everyone in the backfield, to make the play a success. And I just had to look in your eye and I just knew he's about to handle business.
Check it my way.
Dude, all the time. You played with such a confidence, and guys don't realize there's a difference between being confident and being cocky. When I see a player that has confidence, dude, that rubs off on me, and that makes me want to be a better player because the guy that's confident is going to be the one that makes the plays. He's going to have the success.
I just think we were blessed, honestly. I mean, our O-line was just really good across the board.
Agree.
We were a bunch of misfits that nobody wanted put together in a group of guys that just fought,
Let's give a shout out to starting 5 of the offensive line in 2005.
So left tackle, we had Jacob Bender.
Went to the NFL.
Another guy nobody wanted. I think he showed up, 6'6", 230. He left 6'7", 315.
Beast.
Weight room, lots of food, protein.
Food.
And I was the starting left guard. The center was Cody Stogner.
All-American.
Yep. Right guard was Jesse Frazier. Big time animal out of Houston.
Still looks like an animal.
And he's ready to go. He's ready. Right tackle, we had a rotation there. Both guys were very capable. Torrey McKenzie, and then Devon Dutton.
DD. I saw, like I said, we saw all of them except my boy this weekend.
I was taking care of babies.
I feel you, dude. Just want you to know we love you and we missed you.
It was fun.
I'm
sure I saw the pictures.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Got the play-by-play.
We'll have to get it at the 20-year reunion. How about that? Okay, so you tore up the knee. You had the knee issue. What's going through your mind?
So it was a long process, man. In camp, I tore my MCL completely. Gone. I was supposed to be out 4 or 5 weeks, but we were playing La Tech. I wasn't missing it. I mean, I was already pretty much had in my mind I was going to miss Nebraska, and that was tough enough. But I wasn't going to miss La Tech. It was pretty much a homecoming for me.
Oh yeah.
So came back, played La Tech. Knee gave me a lot of problems, but ain't nothing a needle can't fix. But thank you to modern medicine, and had a decent game. The drive really wasn't there, but hat placement and everything else was good. Just didn't put it together. Lost a tough game. Played 2 more games, and last one was at Southeastern at home, and that was probably one of my best games ever.
Okay, so best game ever in your career?
05 Texas State was the best game ever in my career.
No dizzle.
But this was probably easy number 2.
Okay, talk to me.
I think I had like 17-plus pancakes that game.
Nice.
And we ran a lot of midline. And
Favorite play. My favorite play to run.
And linebacker stepped up one too many times, and I had to decapitate him.
Love it.
But it was a really good game. I think Vince probably had his career best rushing. I mean,
shout out Vince Montgomery, Kingsville, Texas.
Big boy.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, the next week was knee day.
Who are y'all playing?
Sam Houston at Sam.
Okay.
They were getting ready to renovate the field, and they went with a field house instead of the field, so they still had the old school turf.
Mm-hmm. Terrible turf. Turf.
We ran counter behind me, left tackle, let a guy spill back inside, and instead of planting a running back, he planted the back of my leg, and basically blew everything else I had left in there. It was gone.
So you get hit. You go to the ground. What's going through your mind? What kind of pain are you in?
So here's the sad story about the whole situation. So I get hit in the back, and then I get bent over. So I'm sitting here, pile underneath me, leg stuck. I either think I broke it or I tore everything because my leg is bent in a really weird way. Mm-hmm. And the Jumbotron is right in front of my face, and I got to watch the replay like 10 times.
They were replaying it?
Yeah, they replayed it like over and over again. And the guys that I'm in the pile with are just like, oh man. Even the Sam guys, man, they probably should stop playing that.
Yeah, for real, man. That's terrible.
It was pretty bad. So me being the lineman that I am, I got up and walked off.
But did you know anything was torn?
Oh, I knew.
Did you hear
I
a
was
pop
jacked.
or what?
I thought I broke my leg is what I thought.
Really?
So I get up, ginger off, and then I think Jeff came to see me.
Jeff Smith, shout out. He's actually the head trainer at Stephen F. Austin now.
Man, he's the only dude that kept Humpty Dumpty together.
Love that guy.
And he sits me down on the trainer table, and by the time that I'd gotten off the field, sat down, my knee was like 3 to 4 times the size of it normally is.
Jeez.
And he was like, something's
torn. Yeah, when you're swelling like that.
So they went and brought me up to the locker room, and that was a wrap.
And it's crazy because I remember you guys, even in practice, wearing these huge, heavy-duty braces. That to help prevent against stuff like that. But that's just, you just got hit in a way that it wasn't, I guess you didn't hit from the side. That's what those braces are for, right?
I got hit in the back and then got twisted.
Okay.
So the reason why I made the reference earlier to the turf is that my foot didn't kick out like it normally would have. It got stuck in that turf. And my foot was going east-west and my body was north-south. So it was tough.
Yeah, I bet.
Pain really wasn't that bad. I mean, the more it was a psychological shock, like, ooh, something is bad. Mm-hmm. And I had just messed up my MCL in the preseason, so I was no stranger to knee problems. But that pop, I'll never forget. It sounded like a tree branch got broken.
Jeez.
And so that's why I thought it was my leg. And then when I stood up and it didn't crumple, I was like, okay, maybe it's nothing. Mm-hmm. And then you look down and you're like, oh man, what's up with this jumbo leg?
So, so you're done for the game. Obviously, you're on the bus ride home, right?
Right.
Yeah. And are you talking to Jeff anymore? Or are you just iced up and headed back to the house? What's the bus ride back like?
It was pretty tough. I mean, my wife was there, and she
shout
was at
out
the game.
Tempest Gombossy.
Yeah, she's been there for me.
Mm-hmm.
She was at the game, so she was a little distraught, but
sure.
She actually came in the locker room, make sure I was straight because I was pretty tore up.
Of course.
But they had a doctor come look at it, and I was not having it at the time, so I was just, I'll wait till we get back to Thibodaux.
Yeah.
Get on the bus, ride back. Just a lot of swelling, but they had me pretty wrapped up and iced up. But psychologically, I was about as low as I've ever been.
Why? Because you know the season's done, or what?
I know I'm done, and I took so much to battle back from my preseason injury with the MCL to just 5 weeks later have it tore up. Tear my ACL, PCL, meniscus, just a bomb went off. It was tough. Mm-hmm. And then to know that I can't help my team. I mean, an O-lineman's leadership is important on and off the field, but it's different when I'm in the huddle and I get to look at the guy across from me and look at the guys in the huddle, or when you know how it is when there's a 3-tech in front of me and I'm telling you exactly what to call. I mean, it's just a different feel.
Yeah, I think from what I've heard, I've been lucky. I haven't had anything major happen. I've had concussions. I've had some loose cartilage and stuff like that, but nothing major. But what I hear from everybody and what I've from the outside looking in, when somebody goes through an injury like that, and I've had really good friends that have gone through stuff like this, multiple knee blowouts, stuff like that. But for an athlete who's just an absolute competitor, who's always used to winning and being able to work through things, being able to control things, when it's something out of your control. It's a mental struggle that I don't know. From what I hear, you just kind of wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy.
Yeah, I mean, the toughest part is definitely mental. Physically, with the way things are nowadays with medicine, I mean, the physical part is not really the big deal.
Yeah.
Rehab was tough because I got cut. Okay, I got hurt October 20th, and I took 3 opinions for someone to tell me that I had a torn ACL. Just for the size, I have a really big leg.
Quadzilla.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the way they do the ACL test, it makes it difficult for them to check when you have big quads. Mm-hmm. So I ended up going to Baton Rouge and going to see Dr. Bankston. And he was able to tell immediately because he's a big guy himself. So he got to cranking on it, and it was just 2 seconds. Okay, this guy's got a torn ACL. We need to put him on the schedule.
Wow.
So I got cut on December 20th.
Okay.
In Baton Rouge, just an overnight, a little morphine. Love morphine. And I'm not really a big painkiller guy.
Yeah.
I have addictive tendencies.
Sure.
So Tempest was, let me get those pills.
Yeah. That's smart. Yeah.
We go home. It's during the Christmas break, so rehab was non-existent. I go home. Jeff's with the basketball team.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, when you have a torn MCL with an ACL, I don't know if you know this, but you can't bend it for 6 weeks after your.
So you can't even, because I know after an ACL injury, you're in that with the mobilizer, right?
You're immediately bending it.
Yeah.
ACL, but with the combination of an ACL and MCL, you can't bend it because it takes time for that MCL to mend.
Yeah.
And when you bend it, you just fray everything you just repaired.
Wow.
So I've got 9 pins in my right knee.
How's that feel?
I mean, it's fine. No, it's not. It swells when the weather changes, and
Sure.
It's always giving me problems. But I tell you, when I got back to campus, I basically had a trainer there for me, and I was able to rehab. I actually participated a little bit in spring ball, not much.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I was determined to come back.
That's early. That's early for anybody, even if you were full go.
Might have been a mistake, but hindsight's always 20/20, and I had to get back.
Senior year, right?
Yeah, it was the last hurrah. And with a guy like myself who's already fighting a bunch of adversities, the NFL now in my mind is out of the picture.
Yeah.
Not that it really was much in the picture to begin with, but now it's immediately out.
Sure.
So now I'm just trying to have a successful senior year and try to dominate.
Yeah.
Had a good summer workouts after that, but knee just always gave me a little bit because, and you know my game, I'm an explosive guy.
Yeah.
First 3 steps.
Hey, you still got those first 3 steps.
I'll always have the first 3.
I'm going to tell a quick story real quick, interrupt. So when I first started my company, I was doing some nonprofit camps, and we were down at Kennedy High School, and Ben came and helped me. We did some work with the team, and he actually was doing some work with the linemen. And guys, when I tell you he still has those first 3 steps, and he looked as explosive as he did in college. I mean, I'm not lying to you. I was so impressed that he was able to do that. I was like, dude, you're still good you can still give me one good play or one good series, no doubt.
You're getting one base block out of me.
I love it. It looked good, man. You still look good.
But that was pretty much my game, is getting a hat on you before you even gotten out of your stance type of situation. And I was probably about a half a step slower than I normally was, which is still faster than most other people, but,
Love it.
But again, the hardest part is knowing that your body can do what your brain wants it to do. That's by far the hardest part.
Yeah.
Once you overcome that, you're good. Luckily for me, we had a new O-line coach come in, and he had torn his knee numerous times. So he knew the rehab process, how much strain to put on me. And I was on the one practice on, one practice off, which turned into no practice.
Were you rehabbing over the summer in Thibodeau?
Yeah, I was still rehabbing. Mm-hmm. Even though I participated, it was more of a footwork thing, knock the rust off type situation. And during that period, my bench press was monstrous.
What were you throwing up?
Like 515, 520.
No, not squatting. What were you throwing up on the bench?
That was the bench.
Oh, that's so dirty.
It is.
Love it.
It is. Pre-knee injury, my squat was outrageous as well. There's no numbers that I even want to say.
Just, yeah.
Over 8.
Wow. Just put all the weight on the bar.
It doesn't matter. Let it bend.
That's some serious bendage going on.
Yeah.
Okay. So season's getting ready to start. What's your mindset going into your senior year, coming off this injury and dealing with the injury and all that?
Well, I was before the 06 season, I said earlier that I was getting a lot of love from the press. Mm-hmm. I guess around 1AA, and it started back again. I guess I'm back.
Sure.
And the guy that took my place was actually a senior, and he did everything he could. Shout out to Jake Housen. Mm-hmm. But it was my turn.
Sure.
And he was gone, so. Let the king have his throne back, right?
Oh, boy, yep.
But we still had a bunch of good old linemen left over even from 05. Mm-hmm. And I was just excited about the season. Got a lot of returning starters. First game was against Rice, and that was a big deal for me. It was my first game back.
That was at home. Yeah, I was at that game. I think I was at that game on the sideline. Yeah.
And we pulled out the dub.
No doubt, man.
Pulled out the dub, and that was big for me.
That's where I met Ladarius Webb for the first time, who's balling for the Baltimore Ravens right now. He comes up to me on the sideline and says, "Hey, so you were the QB on the team when you guys won the championship. I heard you're a big deal." I said, "Hey, how are you?" And he was like, Webb, I'm about to do big things. I'm about to, just blow this conference up, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, guy, whatever you say.
You know how many times we've heard that?
Yeah, exactly. I'm okay. And when you see Ladarius Webb, he's not a big guy. Well, at least he wasn't in college. I'm sure he's not really huge now, but he's got the dreads. Well, he had the dreads and all that, but just a smaller guy. I saw him run across the middle and just decapitate the Rice tight end. I think the Rice tight end got drafted that year or the year after. And as soon as I saw that, I said, okay, you're going to be a game changer. I like it.
What was wild that year is we had two of the best safeties probably you could say across football.
Who else was it?
Kareem Moore.
Oh, yeah, because he was with the Redskins.
We had two NFL safeties. Mm. And
that's why Coach Ellis was always so happy.
What them fake doing? Mm-hmm. But that whole season was so much fun. I remember when we played. But
you got the dub over Rice.
We got the dub.
That's a big win. Mm-hmm.
We got the dub. The next game, heck, I don't even remember the rest of the season.
Yeah,
it was more of a blur. I was just so excited to be back.
Sure. Was there any apprehension when you were playing? Like, I'm worried my knee might give out on me again. What's your mindset?
Well, no, I was worried about missing that step. I mean, again, when that's 90% of your game, and you're going against guys that the conference had basically turned over between 05 and 07. I mean, most of the inside guys were gone. all new blood. So I didn't really know these guys as well. And when you play in conference ball, when you play there for a number of years, you know everybody. You know everybody very well.
Sure.
I knew everybody's first names, the names of their moms, their sisters, their retarded cousins. I knew everything.
Yeah.
And so now I got all these new guys, and I'm the old broke leg guy, but it didn't matter.
Yeah.
It took me about 2 snaps to get that knocked off.
Ready like confetti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'd feel some soreness, or you feel like a little give, a little grab, and you're like, oh man, here we go. But no serious issues. And again, like I said, that coach really took care of me in practice.
Who was that?
Josh Ergel.
Josh Ergel. Oh, okay. I remember.
Ergel.
Did his wife work for the Southland Conference or what?
She worked for the news.
Okay.
Yeah, she was a sports anchor lady.
Yeah, I remember she did a special on you guys. Might have been that year or the year after or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I basically didn't practice. I was flip-flops and backwards hat for most of the season.
Yeah.
So that was wonderful.
Flip flops and backward hat. Okay, so how does the season finish up for you? How are you feeling?
I felt great. There's always a little nagging stuff here and there, but overall, I think I had a good season, and the postseason love was good too.
Nice. What'd you get?
I think I was third team All-American.
All-American, boys and girls. That's a big deal. And for any of you guys or girls that have suffered a major injury and have had a setback, that's what hard work, determination, and keeping a positive state of mind can do. That dude came back and is an All-American. That's big boy stuff. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, it was fun.
Big boy stuff.
It was fun.
Did we go to the playoffs that year? Or what happened?
No, it was a tough season, man.
Yeah.
We struggled. I think we borderline winning record.
Yeah.
But
the big highlight was the win over Rice.
Big win over Rice. The absolute destruction of Northwestern. I think we beat them like 56 to something small.
Always a
yeah. That was the week that Webby won.
Like offensive player of the week,
and then defensive player of the week, and then special teams player of the week.
That's got to be a. I can't imagine that's been done before.
No, I doubt it will ever be done.
Ladarius Webb, you the man, dog.
Yeah, I also remember them catching a pick, going to the house, and then acting like they were walking a dog.
No, that was okay. So
they did it again.
Oh, did they?
Yes,
because that was Cass Nave and Tony Edison. Yes, 2005. I remember that.
They replayed that.
Oh
situation.
No! Oh, so awesome.
I love it.
Okay, so what's your final game like then? Since you know that your body's probably not going to be able to do this NFL game, what's your final feeling? What's the last snap, last second ticks off the clock? What are you feeling?
First drive of my last game, Vince breaks his leg.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I did not know that.
It was rough against Southeastern.
Yeah,
it was a wrap. But I had a good game.
Yeah, you balled out.
Yeah, I think Big Jesse balled out too.
Okay.
It was
y'all should. Y'all are ballers.
Going away for us too.
Sure. Okay, so the game's over. How are you feeling?
Surreal.
Yep, I had the same feeling.
Wow, this is over.
Mm-hmm.
And then immediately the college mind comes in. I'm gonna make a run. I'm gonna go get in shape. I'm gonna go make this happen.
Yeah, no doubt.
Finish up, go home, get picked up by an agent. Mm-hmm. Try to do all the training.
How does for people who don't know, how does getting picked up by an agent work? I mean, what's that all about?
Big guy in Monroe. Shout out to Jeff Guerrero.
Mm-hmm.
He's got
Sounds like an agent.
He's got every big name guy out of Monroe.
Okay.
Whitworth, Mingo, all those big dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Gombossy. That was about 3 weeks long. I started training. Everything was good, man.
Where are you training at?
In Monroe.
Okay.
He had a facility there, and he had his own trainer and everything. And then it was just like, look, I'm sure you could get on a practice squad, but it's time to go on and do bigger things in your life.
Is that what you want to do? That's
right,
exactly, yeah.
Right. This grind, although I'm sure you're capable of, I'm sure you'll make a practice squad, or at least get a look.
Yeah.
But you're not going to make a roster.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest about it.
Yeah.
That's all I needed, dog.
I went through the same things. Yeah, the same exact things. Got told pretty much the same things as well. And yeah, it just that's good that he was honest with you. A lot of guys probably wouldn't be honest. And might try to milk you financially, but that's good that he was honest to you. Shout out. Very nice.
Yeah, he's good.
Okay.
He takes care of all those guys up there.
So then you decide football's done, and
Yep.
what are we thinking after that?
I mean, went straight into work, man.
Yeah. What'd you graduate? What's your degree in?
In sales. Well, marketing with a professional sales concentration.
Yep. Same here.
Worked for ES&H out of Homa for a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to T-Book.
Mm-hmm.
Took care of all of us colonels.
Mm-hmm.
And then went on my career from there.
Yeah.
So, I had a ton of fun at Nicholls, man.
It was an awesome time.
Yeah, it was.
It was an awesome time. And I talked to Bernard about this, and when we had the reunion, it's the brotherhood, man. And like I said again, you miss playing in the games. You miss practicing with your teammates and all that kind of stuff. But it's that daily bond of brotherhood, of seeing your brother, of just it will not be replicated in our life again.
No.
So it's just such a special time.
It is, and it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we did something there that was magical. I mean,
Yeah.
if anybody's ever spent any time in Thibodaux, Louisiana, especially through those years and going through the adversity that we went through, you come out a different person.
I know a guy that is writing the story right now of the 2005 season. Do you know about this?
I think Coach Thomas talked about it before, but I never knew it actually was going. I just thought it was one of them tall tales.
No. I talked to him about a year ago. He said that he was he's a big time connected with Nicholls and the university and the boosters and all that stuff like that. And he said that story needed to be told. And this guy has a background in writing and everything, and that he was inking the story and hopefully one point try to sell it. Get movie rights and everything like that. That'd be pretty neat.
It would.
Who would play Ben Gombossy in the 2005 Conference Championship Swamp Boys movie?
I don't think anybody could do it well. I think I had to play myself.
What an answer.
I'm just saying.
What an answer. Oh, my gosh.
I mean, who's going to play you?
I'd have to say if you had to go with anybody, and it would be like selling my look short, but maybe Ryan Gosling, but he just doesn't live up to what I'm putting out there,
I don't see him trucking a linebacker on
a
triple.
Either. But my wife thinks he's good looking as well, so
that's really all that matters, right?
Yeah. So we'll say Ryan Gosling, but
right. Yeah, we'll go there.
Okay, and then I guess the other thing I wanted to say about that is. And I was talking to one of my boys who played at the Air Force Academy, played offensive line when they were running the triple as well, and he was telling me that it's like a 1%. It's like a 1% of guys in college football that go on to play in the NFL. You see so many guys not take advantage of their free education that they're getting on their scholarship, and just kind of slack off and just get by, and then they're paying for it. They're paying for it when football's over, because even if you do make it to the NFL, I think the average NFL career is like 2.5 years. It's something just ridiculously short. And then you're going to be faced with that, what do I do with the rest of my life? And you're going to be really, really disappointed with yourself if you don't take your schooling very seriously. I did, man. I knew from an early age, my dream was to play college football. If the NFL happened, that'd be cool too. But, I told my mom and dad, I'm going to get myself a good, free education out of this and play football as well. Yeah.
Right. I can't tell you that I took it as serious as you did. My education, although in high school, I mean, great grades, good ACT score, all that. I didn't give a rat's butt about school until probably about my second year in.
Yeah. Well, but I guess about that point, you kind of envision what's going to happen after you start coming up with that plan of whatever you want to do after football.
Right. Well, I went into Nicholls as a pre-med major.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
No, not a lot of people didn't know about that.
I can't imagine, and I know some people do. I can't imagine going to med school and playing football. Football just demands so much of your time during a day, and in med school the same. It would just be hard to do. Shout out to the guys that can do it. I would not be one of them.
Well, when you mix football and video games, it's time to switch to business.
It's a no-go.
We're going to go on ahead and get to something a little bit more realistic.
I feel you.
I mean, that's when I started taking it serious.
Yeah.
And from that point on, my grades were good. But, yeah.
The head of the marketing department, I don't know if he was there when you were Chris Cox. Do you remember Chris Cox?
He was on the way out.
He was on the way out, yeah.
But I knew him definitely.
He went to Kansas State, and on my recruiting trip, I went to sit down in his office because I knew I wanted to go into business. I knew I wanted to run my own business at one point. Didn't know what I wanted to do exactly. I knew at one point I wanted to run my own business, though. And I sat down in his office, and he went to Kansas State, and he had a big picture of Kansas State Stadium out there, and Coach Day brought me down to the office, and I immediately started talking football with him. And then he really sold me on the marketing department and the program, and I said, I like this guy. I like what he's doing with his life.
Right.
And this excites me. You need to be excited about what you're gonna do. And there's some stuff I wouldn't be pumped up about, but he got me fired up to major in marketing and business. I really shout out to Chris Cox. I don't know where you're at now, but thank you. And another awesome thing that he did was, so our senior year we were in a sales class, and it was like me, Corey Vavala, who was one of our starting linebackers, a couple more guys. Maybe was Henry Johnson in that class. Henry Johnson might have been in that class.
He was an accounting guy, though.
Yeah. Normally professors or your teachers are not going to really, especially in college, give love to the sports programs, or it's academia, but it was before our Texas State game, and it was before the McNeese game, and he let us stand up in class, and he said, these guys are on the verge of accomplishing something very special in the history of Nicholls State. If you haven't been to a game this year, you need to go check them out, because this might not happen again. And I was just kind of honored and taken aback that he would take the time during class to do that. Shout out again, Chris Cox.
Man, I really believe that a lot of the business program in general gave us a lot of love. Mm-hmm. I mean, I had classes all over campus, but those guys really understood what we went through.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
Dr. Cashin and all those guys.
So
always give me a lot of love.
Luke Cashin's the man.
Yeah.
I enjoyed his class as well. There was a ton of good professors out there.
There's a lot more to the whole experience than just going out there and knocking heads.
No doubt about it. Yeah.
So
what? Talk to me a little bit about how Hurricane Katrina was for you. What a little bit about when it hit us during 2005. Maybe what your family went through, if they went through anything. Go for it.
Well, I personally didn't have too much going on in that situation. However, I did bring Mike Young home with me, and that was traumatic for him. When
when you brought him,
we went home. We went to Monroe.
Okay, why was it traumatic for him?
Because I don't know if you realize, or you might remember.
Because
he lost everything.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah, a lot of our guys did.
And I remember watching the news and them showing the flooding. And it was his street.
Oh, my gosh.
And about how much he lost it. I mean, it was just, he immediately knew at that point in time that this was real. Because we evacuated for hurricanes all the time, but it never really was, never really happened to that level.
No, it, and I remember guys saying, hurricane party, there's a hurricane coming in, stuff got canceled, hurricane party.
Wow.
But, it never really We had evacuees from New Orleans come stay on Nicholls in the gym. I probably had 500 to 600 people staying there. We went and helped.
Numerous times.
Yeah, bringing food, bedding, all sorts of stuff. But when I really, I mean, it's tough to unless you went through it. But I was driving through New Orleans, through some of that area where it really got in the Ninth Ward area, some area where it really got hit. And it was eerie. It was a ghost town. New Orleans was a ghost. There was nothing around. Everything looked like a bomb had went off, and everything looked like it had melted. Everything was dead. And New Orleans is a city that never sleeps, man. It just it goes. It's alive. And to see it like that was just mind blowing. I didn't really know how to. I didn't feel like I was in New Orleans. I felt like I had missed New Orleans and it was in a totally different city. It was crazy.
Yeah, and again, I had a special perspective because my job outside of ball was working for an environmental company, and one of the things that we were tasked to do is to clean up certain areas after Katrina. I remember we finished the season and we jumped into Christmas break, and I'm assisting in the A to clean things up, and it's just trashed. Yeah. Especially in the Port Sulphur, Buras, Venice. It was just wiped off the map, and
I can't imagine playing football and knowing that everything's gone. Everything that I had is gone, and I think that's one of those things where football can be this outlet and that brotherhood that they can lean on us, and we're going to show them the love, man, love them up and do whatever we can. That's where a team can just be such an amazing thing.
I know for us in 2005, right after that, we were playing Indiana, and I guess the beginning of the game, a bunch of the guys were giving some of the guys on the team a hard time. And you remember Corey when he yelled back into the stands? They told him, you guys need to go home. You don't deserve to be here. And
I don't remember that.
He yelled back, we don't have a home.
Really?
Yeah, well, that's a little fibbing. However, some of the guys from New Orleans didn't.
Sure.
And I could, took care of that real quick.
Well, they were saying that because they were getting their butts whooped.
Then we went for 425?
Something stupid.
Yeah.
They there's an awesome picture that my dad has of and it was on, I think it was on Indiana's website, but it's of their middle linebacker, and he's with the head coach, and he's talking to the head coach, and the head coach has his hand like covering up his face, like, what have we gotten ourselves into? We don't know what's going on here.
We torched them. Yeah. I remember me and Big Jesse taking out every inside guy they had. They went through the whole depth chart on that game.
Love it.
It was nasty.
Nicholls football. Gots to love it. Okay, well, let's talk a little college football here and a little NFL football. I want to pick your brain on a couple of things, and I'll let you get out of here. College football. So first episode that I did that with Ryan Little Hands of Hate Hartman, and I picked Auburn versus USC in the national championship game.
Boo.
No doubt about it. I failed miserably on that pick. Even though we're into the season, what are your thoughts so far on who's going to get maybe into the Final Four, who you think's going to play in the game, and who's going to win?
The Final Four looks like it's shaping up to be a situation that I don't really like it. I just think that the whole TCU Baylor situation, I'm not fond of those two programs. I'm not a fan.
I don't think two will get in out of the Big 12. I think it's only going to be one. It'll work itself out to where they haven't played each other yet either. So
do they play? They do play each other, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And the Big 12's losing out because they don't have a championship game anymore. So they're kind of shooting themselves with the foot in that. But no, there's only going to be. I think it'll be one of them. One of them's going to go to 4, but both of them. There's only going to be one, I think, in the Big 12.
Right. I'm kind of biased though. I'm an SEC lover.
Of course.
I'm on that bandwagon. I love them.
Okay. Well, who's coming out of the SEC?
I mean, my first gut tells me LSU's going to come out of it. However, to watch Florida do what they're doing, I don't know, man.
That came out of nowhere.
They're just nasty.
Yeah.
They're just nasty with it, and they do a lot of things good. Like you can say LSU, well, that Fournette kid's good.
Yeah.
When you say Florida, that team is good.
And they started off the beginning of the season with a dual quarterback system. I'm not a fan of dual quarterback system.
That's horrible.
I think if you're rolling 2 QBs, that means you don't have one. You kill the confidence of both QBs. You get them out of rhythm. It's a terrible system. Any coaches who say that 2 quarterback systems are effective, or that the defenses have to prepare for 2 different guys, they're nuts. It's madness.
Well, it makes it difficult for the rest of the guys on the offense.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good point. No doubt about it.
I mean, your cadence in reference to other guys' cadences are just completely different.
Even if you say the same thing with the same rhythm, it's still going to be different. I totally agree.
It's completely different.
Yep.
When you get used to a guy, I could jump the snap every single time and be where I got to be before anyone even realizes what's up.
Real quick, so that's another thing that I talk to my quarterbacks about. I say, well, what's your cadence? And if they're not going on a silent count, then say it's downset hut. Downset hut. Okay, how many times do you go on 2 or 3? How many times do you go on first down? Well, we really don't. I said, really? So you just say downset hut the entire game? Yeah, and you don't have somebody in the multiple guys in the backfield with you on every play? Oh yeah, we do. So why not make a change there, guy? Well, because we'll always have somebody that jumps. You got to practice it. Got to practice it in practice.
One thing that I would recommend to any quarterback is to be extremely consistent with your cadence, because consistency is what makes us expect certain things. Because unfortunately, we assume that you're going to say it the same way, although we all know what that word means. It is a way for us to get an advantage. And if any O-linemen's like myself, which I would imagine they are, we're looking for any and every advantage we can get.
Great point. Consistency. I like that. Okay. Let's go back then. Who's gonna be in the finals? Who's gonna be in the final game? Who's gonna win it?
I'm gonna go Ohio State.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Baylor.
Okay, Ohio State, Baylor.
I'm gonna go LSU.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna go Utah.
That's a great pick. I picked Utah early in the year to do something. How tall is their quarterback? Like 6'6"?
He's good. His mechanics look weird, but he makes it happen.
He does have weird mechanics, but he can run for a big guy.
Yeah.
And Utah, very disciplined team.
They've got a lot of big dudes.
Yeah, a lot of big Samoan guys too.
Yeah.
That's if you haven't watched Utah yet, check them out. They're a fun team to watch, and I think they're like number 3 or 4 now in the new poll.
When I watched them physically handle Michigan, I knew that something was going to be up with those guys.
And obviously, Michigan is a good team. Jim Harbaugh's got them winning, and I don't want to hear people say, "Well, that was the first game of the season." Whatever. Michigan's got good athletes.
The point of the matter is, Big Ten schools should not be physically handled by WAC schools, Pac-10. That shouldn't happen.
Agree. Okay. I mean, out of those 4, who's going to the finals? Who's going to win?
I'm gonna go LSU,
Homer,
Utah.
Wow.
Utah
going to win the whole thing. You guys heard it here first. Utah. The Utes of Utah. Gombossy.
They just all around the ball.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody in their conference taking them down.
Well, remember when it was Nick Saban's like 2nd or 3rd year at Alabama? He got them to the Sugar Bowl, and Utah, I think Brian Johnson was their quarterback.
Put it on them.
Put it on them in the Sugar Bowl.
Put it on them.
Yes. So
I just think they've got some sneaky guys, sneaky athletes, and I think they've got a lot of size and speed, and they resemble like a Tongan SEC school.
Okay.
And I don't see anybody in the Pac-10 taking them down. And I think whoever they play first in the playoffs, they're not going to expect that situation.
Dude, the Pac-10, all the radio that I was listening to beforehand, everyone's saying, this is the Pac-10's year. The Pac-10 is strong,
How's Oregon?
Dude, the whole conference besides Utah
USC.
It's so inconsistent, so up and down. Very overrated conference, except for Utah. Utah looks good. USC. I picked Cody Kessler as my Heisman Trophy winner, and he's a great quarterback to watch. He got beautiful mechanics, but it ain't gonna happen. And then I just saw USC ask Coach Stark to take a leave for a while.
Take a leave of absence.
So things are not going well for the Trojans this year.
I mean, as far as big time players, how sad was it with the Georgia running back? Did you see that?
I don't. Anytime I see it, especially knees, anytime I see something like that, I look away and I'm upset that I even watched it. And I almost think it's disrespectful when they replay it and replay it and replay it because it's just it's terrible. Now I think they said that he didn't even tear his ACL.
No.
Which. I mean, God bless him. I can't believe that didn't happen, but it looked terrible.
There are other things you can do to your knee other than your ACL that's difficult. That meniscus tear flares up. I mean, they shave it down and all that, but you have problems with swelling.
Yeah.
So anybody who's had meniscus tears or anything, swelling is always a big problem.
Okay. So you got Utah winning it all. NFL. Talk to me about NFL. Who's going to be in the who you like so far? Who's going to be in the Super Bowl? Who's going to win it all?
Well, obviously the Patriots look good.
Mm-hmm.
When do they not look good? So well coached.
And they have the GOAT on their team.
Man.
I love watching me some Tom Brady.
Dude, he's just what does he do bad? He's slow. That's about it. That's your only knock?
Yeah. The only thing I don't like that he does is he never wears cleats, really.
He wears lineman cleats with the little molded bottoms.
T. Brady, what's the deal? I mean, you got a awesome contract with Under Armour. You can wear their most legit, lightweight, and he wears this like clunky lineman cleat.
Well, you know why? They're like tennis shoes. He's back there playing a game. Everybody else is taking it serious.
That's it, huh?
He's like, I'm just. There's Elliman. Let me just give him the ball real quick.
It'd be tough for me to ball on those. I'm not gonna lie.
He's not back there balling. He's back there distributing.
True. Okay, so you like the Patriots coming out of the AFC?
Yeah.
What about the NFC?
Can you pick anybody other than Aaron Rodgers? I can't.
Nope. I had the Packers winning it all. That's what I'm saying. He's the man. I would, out of the AFC, like to see the Broncos win just for Peyton to have something to go out on. And I think they're undefeated right now.
You know when that weather changes,
it's just he's a different dude.
All those injuries flare back up, man. Yeah. It's just not the same.
Yep. Because I think this will be his last year.
Much love to him.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, he's one of the greatest of all time. He's anytime he plays, I stop what I'm doing and watch him. And he's just made such an amazing impact on the game. And with his Manning Academy that he does in the summers at Nicholls State, he he's even at that camp, he's not like a figurehead like he could be. I've been to camps where it's, they've got a big name on the camp, and that person really doesn't do anything, comes in and talks.
Right.
Peyton and Eli and Archie and all those guys make it a point to come by and shake every kid's hand and work with them at one point in a drill. I think it's a great camp to go to, especially for young quarterbacks. As you get up a little older and you become a junior, going to be a senior, going to be a junior in high school, it's not really a camp for you. You guys need to be going to prospect camps at that point. But for younger guys, I think it's a great way to improve your game. Okay, so who's going to win, Packers or Patriots?
Patriots.
I
don't see in that stage TB going down. I think TB walks away after that.
Oh, really? You think he's done after that, huh?
The conspiracy theory thing with the whole Deflategate thing, I think he walks away.
Yeah, he's gets him his final ring and walks off into the sunset with his supermodel.
Yeah, and he's shooting a bird to Greg Hardy.
No doubt. Tom Brady. Ben Gombossy, you are the man, dude. You're my brother from another mother. You protected me.
Well, you just made me look good.
Oh, come on.
You just check the
dude.
ball my way every time.
Come on, dude.
13. 35. 19. 37.
He can go on. We're going to have to make Ben a regular guest. Ben's the man. I love you, dude.
I appreciate it. Much love.
No doubt. Podcast number 3 in the books.
Peace.
Okay, my people, that's it. I want to thank my guest, Ben Gombossy, for joining me today. Once again, QBs, show your linemen major love. On the docket for the next couple of weeks, I've got one of my D1 QBs, an offensive coordinator from a high school in the San Antonio area, as well as some of the top high school QBs in San Antonio, and in some cases, in the entire state of Texas. If you want to know more about my academy, or you're interested in training with us, you can find me at www.yvqbacademy.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Snapchat. If you're interested in being one of our sponsors, you can contact me through my website. See y'all next week.